All right, what's up? Welcome into another episode of Snuffing Torches, our Survivor Season 48, Episode 2 recap. Got myself, John Rich, and Clemmer making his Season 48 debut. Clemmer, I guess we'll catch up. What did you think of Episode 1? I know we watched it together at the premiere party. I don't know if I talked about that at all last week, but we did go to a premiere party. Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I think we both enjoyed it. We were kind of like, and there were no commercial breaks during the premiere when we were watching, so we couldn't like really talk. But we were kind of like, I think I could tell me and you kind of trying to figure it out as we went along, and we both agreed at the end, kind of, hey, they made the wrong choice there. They should have kept Stephanie in the game. But I actually enjoyed the season premiere quite a bit more than this episode. This was a bit of a drop off to me.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Kind of interested to hear you say that. That's all. I enjoyed this episode. I thought maybe a little bit more than the premiere.
Really? All right.
Yeah, I was locked in. I don't know if it was just my state of mind or whatever, but I find, is it Say or Sai?
Say, I believe.
Say.
Okay. I find her quite interesting. I'm enjoying her in the game at this point.
I mean, she's obnoxious and condescending.
Oh, yeah.
And she's not a good player, but I guess you could argue she's good for TV.
Her with the power of knowing she had the idol at Tribal was so funny to me. Just like completely like just unleashed, obnoxious, like absolutely like just nothing to lose, knew that she wasn't going home. I just thought that was a very funny dynamic to me. Her just being that confident and like overplaying it like crazy. Like I don't even know what the fuck like her point was, or like, I mean, if there's any strategy beyond it, but
it ended up being a dumb move for her too.
Yeah.
I thought it was a dumb tribal council. This tribe is unlikable and dumb. I don't care for this tribe. Like, first of all, they should have got out Say last week. That was their chance to make the move. This week, I mean, I actually think if I had to pick a player, Cedric, I think, handled this pretty well, where if he does feel like he's got an ally in Say, then he was able to keep her while also flushing out her idol. That was a good move by him. Pizza guy, I don't know what he's doing. They felt like they took out Kevin. It was the right move to try to take out Say. Like, I think taking out the girl with an idol who's playing hard, it's not like that. It's not like that's such a crazy move Kevin suggested. I don't get why they want to play with Say so bad. I thought this was this felt like a move, or just take out Mary if you really want to just take the easy way out. She doesn't have a vote. This felt like a move just to make a move.
I mean, I think I understand you can't vote out Say yet because she has the idol, and you want to flush that idol as soon as possible. If I was on that tribe, I want to get her out of the game as fast as possible. So we got to flush the idol first. And then, next vote, we get rid of her. And to John's point, John's like, all right, yeah, I guess she's fun to watch on some level. But like you said, she plays with reckless abandon. And you're right. She had all this confidence she has an idol, but there's still a lot more eliminations left. Why are you alienating everybody else around you? It's such a bizarre strategy. I don't really understand what she's doing. I know a lot of patience for people that just aren't good in the game, aren't going to last. It's just kind of, I feel like she's just wasting our time.
I don't know. At least she's different. She's not cut from the same mold of Survivor players that we've been complaining about for the last however many seasons. I think there's an aspect to that I find at least a little bit like refreshing and a little bit different. Maybe that's like most of where it's coming from.
I just hate people who describe themselves as like, oh, I'm just honest and blunt. Like, no, you're an asshole. You're just
she's a villain. Like,
yeah, like you're an obnoxious, unpleasant asshole to be around. And they're like, oh no, I just tell it like it is. Like, no,
she tells it like it is. She tells it like it is, Tommy.
Yeah, this it is like, I'm seeing a lot of people say it online too, where it sucks that it's sort of a theme, it seems like, with the three tribes, where we have one tribe that kind of sucks because they don't get supplies early, and then that makes the week just weaker, and they keep going back to tribal council. They kind of get decimated. Sometimes that could be fun, where you get to know a tribe. Like, I kind of go back to the Brains tribe in Cagayan when it was Spencer, Jatia, Chaos, Cass. Like, that was a fun, bad tribe where it was like, it was humorous how bad they were. This This tribe sticks.
You know what hurts this tribe even more? The other two tribes I think are really likable.
Yeah.
I really enjoy spending when we spend time at the camp with them. Those two tribes seem to have a lot going on. It's not just camaraderie, but I just think just more interesting people. Like, I really think this season is going to be good because of the strength of the other two tribes. I don't know if there's a single. I'm kind of interested in Justin the pizza guy just because he's from Massachusetts and he looks like every pizza guy from New England. Like, every single pizza guy in New England looks like him.
I looked it up last week. It's Luigi's and Revere, and Dave gave it a 7.5, I believe.
So Revere is right next to Saugus, where Jared's from. And it's North Shore. It's probably about 45 minutes from where I lived in New Hampshire. He looks like everybody I saw for a good 20 years of my life at every pizza place. So I like him. But other than that, there's not a lot that green tribe I love.
I mean, I think him and even Cedric, I think they're mostly just a victim of the people around them. I actually kind of like Cedric for whatever reason. I think he's a pretty smart guy. Like, the way I think he's got a pretty good finger on the pulse of what's happening. They're just kind of in a shit situation with that tribe.
They actually, both Cedric and Justin, kind of did a good job pulling off the move they wanted to tonight.
Yeah.
Where Cedric was like, I want to protect Say, but I want to get our idol out. And Justin was like, I think Kevin's a big player and I want to get him out while flushing Say's idol. So they got it done. I just don't understand why. Like, why not just blindside Say?
I mean, they got out.
Or if you do really want to work with her, then keep her idol, and just vote out Mary.
Yeah. I mean, they did get out the best player, though, I think, right? I think Kevin was the best player in that tribe, probably. I think he would have fit in and been most likable with the other tribes.
I think he plays too hard. I actually don't think he was the best player in the tribe.
Yeah,
I think
he was really aggressive in the confessionals. I don't know.
Yeah, you're probably right. He seemed the strongest for whatever reason to me.
Cedric is obviously a smart guy. He's a surgeon. He's obviously very bright. A lot smarter than I am. I don't really understand a lot of what he's doing out here. Like, picking Say because she's like his daughter is a strange. That's the strategy. That's the reason why you're doing this. A lot of it would just seem bizarre to me. I don't really understand a lot of it. I don't know. I don't really understand his motivations yet. I'm not ruling him out. I don't dislike him. I just don't really quite get him yet.
I think another thing, this isn't even really as much about the tribe, but I always complain about the initial challenges all being like the exact same thing, like the physical obstacle course. That makes the situation just happen way more too. Like, when every challenge is just essentially who's fastest and strongest.
Yeah.
Whichever tribe is not the fastest and strongest, they just lose every time. Like, if there was one that was completely different, then I might mix it up a little bit. So they're fucked. I mean, I don't know how they're going to win next week.
No, I mean, they are definitely the weakest tribe. I mean, like you said, if a challenge is really different, they might have a shot. But I mean, if you're just looking on paper, they're in trouble.
I think John just brought up a flaw in the game. Yeah. So back in the old days, before John was watching even, you wouldn't see tribes decimated quite like they are now because the challenges were different. It wouldn't just be everything's obstacle course. It would be like, oh, maybe an endurance one, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, whatever. Now with everyone being endurance one, John's right. Like, if the weakest tribe is just simply just going to slowly get picked off. It's
also with 3 tribes instead of 2.
Yeah.
Like that also it plays in, but yeah, they don't give a lot of like, oh, well, you're not good at this, so we'll try this. It's just, no, if you're bad at those pre-merge challenges, you're pretty much going to be bad at all of them.
Yeah. They don't seem to want to do any challenges. I'm sure they've done in the past where like it's essentially every man for himself, and then like one person can win it for the tribe. Right?
Say it again?
Like a challenge where every person is on their own and just last one remaining wins it for the tribe. Right, they don't do any of those in like the first 3.
Yeah, no, like they might do one of those a season or something or 2, but yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, no, you get to be like the hero for your tribe.
Yeah. I do too. I have a question about challenges and stuff. So I feel like it didn't happen last season, I don't believe it. More often than not, it happens. And it happens to the tribe that is the least likable. Now, obviously, a lot of that could just be editing and stuff like that. But is this rigged? Like, do they put the most unlikable people in a season on the same tribe that has the lowest chance to win without the strongest player?
I don't
No?
think so.
Is it a way to kind of weed out maybe the 16th?
You're
best
not
players?
like, but when they're picking their 18 castaways, like in their head, I think they're all really good. Like they get thousands of applications. Like the casting producers aren't like of these 18, these few kind of suck because then they just wouldn't be on the show.
I think you're wrong to some extent at the time. Like they know Say has no chance to win that game. She's taking psychological attempt.
But they might
talk to
want her around as a character for drama.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them are just being way like dragged down by Say. Like take Thomas for example. Like I like Thomas a lot. The guy, he wanted to ditch the entire Beware advantage just to fuck him over. If he was on that tribe, I think he might be unlikable.
I think someone put it in the chat. Austin S. They definitely cast the most dysfunctional people on a tribe intentionally. Just happens that those people suck physically. I could see that maybe happening sometimes, but I also think that it might be a little bit of a chicken and egg where I think that these people are appearing dysfunctional and unlikable because they're losing. Like they might be appearing a little bit more unlikable because they're the most starved and they've gotten the least sleep and they're the most stressed, and that's because they're losing. So they might look more unlikable than they are.
But we haven't gotten that far. It's only episode 2, and I felt this way even after episode 1.
I mean, I don't think that tribe is. I wouldn't say they have a lot of. I mean, Say is unlikable. I like Mary. I like Mary's vibe. The pizza boy seems chill.
I like him. I like Mary.
And Cedric, I don't dislike. Like
me either.
I don't think they're filled with unlikable players. I just think as a whole, it hasn't been like a fun group to watch.
I don't know. Maybe it's just weird this year with the other two tribes being, like I said, just that much more enjoyable to watch. Like stratospherically so. But that's, who knows?
Let's hop around. We'll recap the full episode. Guess let's go. I mean, I love the Orange Tribe. I love the Orange Tribe. Today we had, David talking about his 4 nipples, the humble traits conversation. I thought that was good. Like that is one of the benefits of 90-minute episodes. Or John, I don't think you said you didn't watch last season, right? Mm-hmm. I think it just how long have they had 90-minute episodes?
I think this is the 3rd season. I think they did it,
or 4th, maybe.
At least the 3rd, maybe the 4th.
I think they might have started in 45.
This would have been. I think this is the 4th, right? We're in the fall.
Yeah, because of the writing.
It's spring, rather. Excuse me. Yes, this is the 2nd calendar year of
yeah.
This.
Someone said.
Someone say 3rd.
I'll take your word for it. So season 45, that would be 4th. I think it is 4th because I think it was the writer's strike and they needed unscripted to be long.
Correct, and they had an hour and a half of this and an hour and a half of Amazing Race.
Yeah. Regardless, the longer episodes, these are the type of conversations I like. Is like seeing what they talk about when it's not all just strategy. Like because they spend, and I think it might have been Charity who said it, where it was like you spend. Your 3 days in Survivor time, you build a greater friendship than you could with someone in 3 months of real life. So I like that conversation a lot. Like you said, I like that whole tribe. David, I feel like has potential to be an all-time character. Like David feels like he should have been on season 3 or season 4.
Yeah, right.
Like he's just like this dumb jock. Like I think that he thinks he's going to be way better at the game than he actually will be. I like him. The fact that they treat Charity like she's Boston Rob is very funny to me. They're like, I like Mitch, but he's close to Charity. Like that Charity, we got to watch out for her. Mitch is awesome. He's just like a great energy. Kyle, I like too. I love that whole tribe.
I like the tribe a lot too. I like the tribe a lot. I love the purple tribe more, but as far as the orange tribe, Mitch is great. And Mitch came up to us. He was very nice to us at the premiere party we went to. But I like him even if I hadn't met him. He just seemed, I don't know how someone couldn't find him super likable. The whole tribe is, and even David, who definitely comes off as wildly egotistical, but it's almost like fits the make and model of the car, if you will. Like,
yeah, it's endearing.
That way. Like that all works. It's so easy to root for these two tribes every challenge they're in, because it's like It's good to the point where even the 6th or 5th person voted off these tribes, I'll be bummed out to see them go.
Yeah, I was looking at my notes about the Orange Tribe. I did appreciate. I feel like I've heard a lot of people in life tell me that they have multiple nipples, and they never do. Like it's always just like something that isn't a nipple. He really had 4 nipples. Like, but and he said he got them removed too.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel like people always talk about, oh, I had a third nipple. I had a third nipple. I never see it. Where the fuck is the third nipple?
It's like a mole. It's like
right. Like he pointed it out, and they weren't that prominent. But yeah, it seems like they would have been way more prominent if he.
And they were even too. Like they weren't like usually the third nipple was like, oh, I have a mole here. It's like, all right, yeah. No,
David's got himself 4 nipples.
Yeah,
that I will say.
For that.
But yeah, so also on that tribe, you had Kyle find the idol thing, and he was right there with David. So he told David, and then he had Camilla is her name? Camille?
Yes.
Yeah,
Camilla sort of decipher it for him. It says enlist. I was a little confused. So it seems like obviously each tribe is going to be different. Last week, Say's was listen. Kyle's is enlist. Maybe the other one will be silent, probably.
Oh, that's good, Tommy.
You are you being sarcastic?
No, I'm not. I'm so bad at like jumble word stuff. I'm terrible at stuff.
Oh, I mean, she even guessed that as one. Like, so it'll be something like that. So last week's, she had to put together that this is this letter in this word of this animal. I don't understand we'll talk about in a second. What Star has to do seems impossible on the purple tribe, where she's putting the things, against the it's showing her letters. We're like putting the things up to the paintings. I don't really get what I feel like these people, they just had to unscramble the letters because they had already seen all the letters are painted on random wood, and they just took the rope off the wood and they just unscrambled. It feels like they had the easiest one by far. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe the chat could tell me. It feels like they had by far the easiest job, where they literally had random black rope tying up all 6 letters. You just had to untie the black rope.
Yeah, that was by far the easiest. I have a feeling the Star one is easier than we think.
Maybe.
I feel like, because they just got to put that code up to a tree, right? But I guess they're struggling
really where the letter is.
So I guess, yeah, maybe you're right. I'm still confused in the first episode how they even got to the point of figuring out, like, oh, it's alligator, so it's the 4th letter in alligator because the color matches up. I thought that was really difficult.
I thought that was impressive.
Me too.
Me too.
Quick.
I thought they missed a clue because we thought the letters were on their trees as well. If you remember that.
Yeah. I thought it was all going to be the same. This one just seemed incredibly easy.
Yeah, but I agree. It definitely was.
It seems like it was. They solved it pretty quick, so I think you're right, Tommy.
Yeah.
Kyle has an idol. At least Camilla knows about it. I would assume maybe David knows about it because he was with them when he found it. I mean, I guess he didn't see him online, but I'm sure he told them. I mean, listen. I'm big on don't tell everyone when he got the advantage. Like to the point where last week Say did it. She basically told her whole tribe. This week Star basically told the whole tribe. I think you could, in Kyle's case, if it's like a really hard thing, he doesn't think he'll be able to do it. It could be a good way to build trust with Camilla. Be like, help me find this out. If you're going to work with them long term, it's not the worst idea. But still, now David knows. He seems like a loudmouth. I don't know. Maybe it's just something where you get out there on that island and you don't want to talk about, how your toes look weird for 26 straight days. So you're like, hey, let's talk about this instead. But it boggles my mind.
I don't know. I'm still often on the side of 75%, if not closer to like 90% of people will get caught up in any sort of lie and end up making themselves look worse. Like if they try to hide something, especially if like they already know 1 or 2 people might kind of know about it. So a lot of times I'm like, that's just the smartest move. Because like when Mitch, I guess that was kind of a different thing with Mitch in the boat. But like with Mitch in the boat, even like when he came back and told everybody, I mean, if they don't lose many challenges, they end up making it to the merge. Like, he's got the trust of everyone. It's just, I just see so much going wrong with lying all the time that I often think it's kind of smart to tell people.
I agree with
kind
you
of the way
more
I see
there,
it
where you're
sometimes.
kind of put on the spot after the journey. To me, this is more just like a lying by
Yeah.
omission. Like, you just don't have to go tell people you found something.
I think it's tough when the tribes are so small, 6 or less, and then half the tribe already knows about it because someone saw it when you were looking,
Right.
and then you need somebody else. At some point, I think you might be better off to just tell everyone on some level, because then you don't want to appear deceitful to the other 3 people in the tribe, or 2 people in the tribe, or 1 person, whoever's kind of out. But I agree with you, Tommy. If 1 or 2 people and you can trust that, if 2 or less have it and you really trust the person and you can keep it a secret as long as possible, it's such a huge tool to have.
Yeah. So I'll be interested if they. So that tribe seems like Kyle, Camilla, David, and
Mitch?
no,
Charity?
he's on the
Chrissy?
outs because he's too close to Charity. Chrissy, the older lady firefighter. They seem like they're a tight 4. So maybe they'll tell Chrissy and David about the idol. I don't know. And then Mitch, they like Mitch, but Mitch is too close to that absolute devil Charity. So they're worried about Mitch. Charity tonight also, she seemed pretty delightful.
Yes.
I liked her. I haven't thought much about it. I didn't pick up on that as much as you did. I saw you tweet that too. I'd probably have to go back and rewatch to pick up on how much they were talking about her, but I haven't had really negative thoughts about her.
Well, it started last week. I don't think we're supposed to have negative thoughts, but it started last week where Camilla, planted to everybody that we got to dislike Charity.
Okay,
Seems like
yes.
it carried over because when Mitch got back from the journey thing, they were all like, "Oh well, we like Mitch, but he's too close to Charity." So I don't know. I don't know. I kind of like Charity, but we'll see. Other tribe, and then we'll talk about the journey thing too. But just catching up on the other tribe. So you got Purple Tribe. That's Bianca, Eva, Joe, Shaheen. Am I saying that right? Shaheen, Star,
Yeah.
Thomas. Eva kind of put Star on the spot at one point early on, and then Star's like, "Oh, I got to start looking for an idol." She goes out, she finds the thing. She tells essentially everybody on the tribe except Eva. And they're kind of like, Shaheen's like, "All right, well, we should kind of help her, but we actually don't want her to get her vote back and find it because we want to take her out." She tells Joe, Thomas. I did love the idea from Thomas to Shaheen where he was like, "Why don't we just rip this paper up and she doesn't have to know that she doesn't get it." I like that because it's villainous and we don't see that a lot anymore, and it's good TV. But I don't know how good of a gameplay it is because it does have the exact reaction where Shaheen is like, that seems like really aggressive to be playing like that so early on, where
and not necessary for Star.
I was going to say, and Star's on the outs
right.
for no good reason.
Yeah.
There's no real reason Star, I would understand if, this was a returnee season and fucking Russell Hantz or something was had this, I don't really know why Star is even on the outs. I think it just kind of happened. It feels like a weirdly aggressive move to fuck with Star that early on, where it could backfire and put a target on Thomas like it kind of did. But I like that he's thinking that way.
It was a wild season 15 move to suggest that. That's when that. And I completely agree with everything you said, Tommy, how it's it would be probably bad long-term play to do that, especially for someone who's such a weak player. But I love that that's the instinct, though. I think this Purple Tribe's a lot of fun because you have the good. You have Eva and Joe, right? And then nice, sweet people seem to always kind of the angels. And you have a devil like Thomas on the same tribe who's willing to literally set someone on fire, I think, just to go ahead one more day. I love that. So this Purple Tribe is very intriguing to me, and it feels like kind of the Survivor tribes we used to see back in the day.
I love the move from Joe, too, where when Star told him about the idol or the Beware advantage, he went and told Shaheen. He was like, "I want to get someone else in on this so, people don't think that I'm just working with Star. I just thought that was like a little thing that was a really smart move by Joe.
Joe is going to have a mental breakdown at some point about betraying someone. He's already starting to think about it. And he was talking early about, I forget who had that. It was a firefighter, right? Probably 5 seasons ago, who made it to like the final 4. He was on our show, but I wasn't there for the episode.
Oh, Hoboken Mike.
Yeah, Hoboken Mike. I think he kind of had that come up eventually. Joe is ripe for one of those. Like, he's absolutely going to have to lie to somebody at some point and not feel good about it, because that was kind of his whole thing coming in, right? Like, he wanted to prove you can be an honest player and win. He said something along those lines.
Yeah,
he's not going to be it. I don't want to give him a 0.0, but
I
it's
put him as a question mark for it
the way he wants.
Yeah, I think so too. He's really likable though, and he's strong, so he could go pretty far. He seems that like people just are kind of drawn to him though. People like want to tell him things. I think that goes a long way in this game. I don't know if he's probably not gonna win the game, but I wouldn't put anywhere close to a 0.0 on him.
Right. Yeah. I guess honestly, he could have that mental breakdown and still win. I don't think he's rubbing anybody the wrong way. I can't really foresee anybody getting on his bad side. I guess unless he gets to a point where he kind of ends up blowing up his own spot because he's so insistent on being transparent or something.
Was I just frozen?
Yeah, you're weird. Like you kick in and out.
I'm good now. I can't open another tab on this. But what I was trying to look up was what Star's job, because they were talking about, they were like, Evil's like, me, Joe, and Shaheen, I guess, like we're the muscle on this tribe. And like even Star was like, like I got to worry because they're the muscle. Star looks incredibly athletic. Star's huge. Somebody said that like Star was a professional basketball player. That's what I was trying to fact check, because I was like, that can't be true.
Her occupation is listed as sales expert. I don't know what that even means.
Oh, wait. Star Toomey. Oh, she did play basketball at the University of South Carolina, Aiken.
And she's sitting out challenges?
Yeah, I don't like.
They have to do with basketball, too.
Yeah, like, why?
I mean, maybe. I mean, yeah, I guess unless like she can't swim, but I don't think you go on Survivor if you can't swim at all.
Yeah, I don't know. That was Shaheen. I can't pronounce Shaheen's name. But that tribe will be interesting. I do like that tribe a lot, just from the dynamic. Shaheen could kind of be the player to watch on that tribe. I like Thomas, but he might be like too villainous to win.
Yeah.
Or to go far. So we also had the journey thing, where boat pulls up, says you're going to go on a journey to chance to win advantage. And I thought this was interesting, where they gave them a way to settle who goes on the journey. This is the first time I believe we've ever seen this, where usually it's just like picking amongst yourselves and they pick straws or something. And a lot of times I feel like it's seen, at least in my head, it's kind of a negative. I mean, I know you have a chance to get an advantage, but I feel like it could put a target on your back. You could possibly lose your vote. So I thought it was interesting where it's like, oh, here's how you win getting to go. Personally, I would have thrown out the fucking number 5. Like, I would have not wanted to go. I don't think.
Throw out 1.
If you want to go.
1, you would have won, probably.
Oh, you're saying, okay, yeah, got it, yeah.
So here's my thing, and this broke my brain, so I'm glad you guys are here. You can talk me through this. So on the green tribe, they're doing it. And seemed like she wanted to go, if anything, just to keep Mary from going. And the thing is, it's the lowest unique number, right?
Yeah.
So if you just keep throwing out, if you keep throwing out 1 and the 1 is blocked, then it would go to 2, correct?
Yeah. Right. If multiple people throw out 1, then 2 goes.
What did Say throw out? Do we know?
I'm pretty sure though. Who threw out 1? One of them threw out 1 and just won.
Which seems crazy.
The first person, Thomas, threw out 1 and 1.
First
time. I don't know the other ones.
Yeah.
I don't think they were 1 though.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like, people are saying in the chat, it doesn't seem worth risking your vote to possibly get an advantage. And also, more importantly, you're spending time away from your tribe.
Yep.
You
Who
get
now
back-
questions or doubt you now?
Right. Like, and even if you get back and tell the truth, your tribe might not believe you.
Right.
So they go there. They each go to like a random path, and then it's this, kind of slide puzzle where you got to get 1 through 15 in order in the hourglass timer. Mary can't do it, so she loses a vote, goes back to camp, says it. Almost felt like at first I might not have believed her. Like, say, it was like, well, you don't seem that sad. Like, it can't be that bad. But she did really lose her vote. Mitch got it, and he got a wait, sorry, let me write who got what? Oh, Thomas gets a steal a vote, Mitch got a block a vote. So Thomas and Mitch get it done. I thought it was kind of weird that one's a steal a vote, one's a block a vote. Like, to me, a steal a vote is obviously better than a block a vote, where you can also vote for that person. I know people are like, well, it's just the random draw of what path they went down. And I get it. It's better to have probably different advantages in the game, like at the merge, to have different things at play. So I get it. It just felt weird that like they did the same thing and one person got an advantage that I think is better than the other. But
that third one was probably an idol then.
Or extra vote, probably.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
See, earlier you said, Tommy, like we mentioned, like, hey, talking just about kind of small talk about your what is it? Your flaws, your humble flaws, your whatever, your humble traits.
Yeah.
That's a good thing about having 90-minute shows. These like trips on these boat to do these challenges, this is a drawback in 90-minute shows. I hate these things. This is awful. I wish they'd stop doing this.
The problem is they have them anyway if they're 60 minutes.
Yeah, it's true.
They didn't used to. Maybe you might be right.
They had them in like 41, 42, 43,
yeah, they did. You're right.
44. I don't hate like the mini game aspect of it. Like I thought that, like, to me, that challenge was kind of fun to watch. Like, that challenge was more fun to watch than the immunity challenge.
Yeah.
So I liked that.
I didn't like either, so I don't know.
I liked that aspect of it, but I agree where it's like, it just feels like here's a chance, here's a way to just put an advantage in the game for no apparent reason. Like, there's no, like, it's not Exile Island or whatever, where it's like there's a clear, it just feels like every once in a while we're going to randomly bring these 3 people to this random island that we don't even have a name for yet, even though it's the 8th season we've done this, and we're going to just give them an advantage or two to just shake. It doesn't feel like there's a real rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah. No. And usually those rewards, it's often, you often don't ever really get to see them come to fruition. Like, do you think that block a vote or steal a vote? Like, maybe it will. Like, block and vote and steal a vote are pretty good, but people are always losing votes and like winning little things that I'd be curious, like, what percentage of the time those island trips result in a reward that matters at all in the long run.
Yeah, you can say that with any advantage. I don't know how often.
Yeah.
And I do wonder what the overall success, and I'm sure someone maybe has done the numbers out there. What is the success rate of advantages in Survivor? It's got to be below 50.
I really do think they're, like how you were saying, it puts a target on you. Like, I think there's something to be said for even beware advantages. They just are more likely to hurt you sometimes. Like, I would almost just rather have none of them. Like, if I found a beware advantage, I might just give it to my closest ally.
It's hard to calculate though, Tommy, because like Say had the idol, and yeah, I guess you could say it wasn't played correctly, but it did give her strength to maybe help her survive 2 rounds.
Yeah, so there's not a clear cut.
Is that a failed idol? Maybe not.
I think by definition, it's a failed idol. And I know we used to do this fantasy scoring, and people like, to me, by definition, that's a failed idol play, because if she didn't play, she still wasn't going home.
Correct.
But if she didn't have it, she was going home.
Correct.
Not necessarily. There might not be a target on her if she didn't.
Right, and she might have even gone home the week before. I don't know. I don't think it's easy to say pass or
fail.
No,
it's not. It's not black or white. But so anyway, Thomas gets the block a vote, goes back to his tribe, tells them, like, he's excited. He's like, I got us an advantage. Like, as if like he can't use it against one of them. He's like, yeah, like as if it was like rice. Like, he delivered it like he got rice or like a machete. He's like, you'll never believe what I got us. Like, I got me the ability to block one of your votes. And they were like, fuck yeah, Mitch.
Yeah.
Like, you
They
did
were
it.
crying.
Yeah, like they were so proud of him. Like, that's going to maybe fuck one of you over.
This could send one of you home. Yay!
Thomas
Thank you, Mitch.
pulls the move that's kind of risky where he's like, we had the choice to play or not, and I just didn't play. Again, I appreciate the villainous lie. The issue with that is, you merge eventually or you get a tribe swap or something. You ask someone, how'd that go? And they give you the honest answer. All of a sudden, paints a target on Thomas's back. So if you're going to lie there, I think maybe lie and say you lost a vote.
Yeah, that's a weird thing because it's not. I don't think anybody thought Thomas was in danger. Like, is that really believable that he wouldn't play? Like when Star's sitting right there.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
But he does seem pretty committed to lying no matter what. So if he's just consistent with that, he'll probably never tell anybody anything, at least.
And if people talk to Thomas, you can tell he's playing pretty hard. Like, we can tell it just from watching him on TV for like this 8 minutes we've seen him. I think you would know he's someone that's not just gonna take a knee. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, at least from what we saw, nobody really seemed that suspicious of him. So you've now got advantage wise, you've got Thomas with a steal vote, Mitch with a block a vote, Kyle with an idol, and Star with maybe an idol, depending on if she can unlock that thing. Challenge, just absolutely pathetic from Cedric and Kevin. Someone in the chat earlier said it was funny, where it was like scary that Cedric is a surgeon with that level of hand-eye coordination. Mitch was Steph Curry. That was unbelievable. Eva was great too. Hit 3, but Mitch, I think Mitch just went 5 for 5.
I don't understand what Kevin and Cedric. If I didn't know better, I would think they're throwing it. Like, what are you doing? Like, what? Like, they couldn't even get 2 steps. It was bizarre. And everyone else was able to do it. It's very bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we're saying, to be fair, like the show, like to the challenges, like as much as we're saying, like, it's not fair that like it's all these long obstacle course, like these two just couldn't fucking step. Like that wasn't like, was like an exhausting thing that they just didn't have the stamina for. These two idiots just couldn't fucking walk over a little plank.
And I don't like to be
not strong enough.
I think they are. I'm not a physical guy at all, obviously. But when everyone else on the show is able to do it, that's what I'm comparing it to. Not myself, obviously, but like everyone else seemed to have no problem. And they couldn't do anything.
That was brutal.
It was very weird. It was almost like I was more surprised than like embarrassed. It was more or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were like about to do it at a certain point too, just like, they mentally were like,
Yeah.
But
probably right.
Yeah, they should have switched sides at least. That's what I was yelling at the screen. Like, Cedric, just go to the other plank or do something.
Yeah. Impressive throws, too, by Joe. Joe launched.
Joe is crazy.
Yeah, Kyle had a pretty good one, too.
Another note I wrote down, too. You got to learn to dive before you're going to Survivor. That saves. I don't think it matters as much in this challenge, but that saves so much energy and time if you dive and you're not plopping in and then swimming 20 yards.
I don't know how to dive, and I grew up on a lake. I'm too scared. Like I'm scared. Yeah,
I'll do it. I feel like you do it in Survivor though. I feel like Survivor though. You go to a public pool, you'll get it figured out in a couple hours.
I've been trying for 35 years. I can't do it, so I don't know.
Like Survivors,
you don't need to, be an Olympic level diver.
Yeah.
Yeah. So challenge.
At least learn how to not hold your nose and jump.
Okay. I'll give you that.
I'll say that. Learn how to not do that.
Okay.
That would help. Orange wins, purple in second, and then green back to tribal. We kind of talked about it. I don't know if there's anything else we wanted to add to the tribal council or anything else from the notes, but yeah, it seemed like Mary was going to be the easy vote. Kevin then brings up, well, what about Say? We take out our idol. Justin and Cedric are like, maybe Kevin's actually playing too hard. Let's see if Say can still play right. We get out Kevin. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we're being too hard on it, being like, oh, it's such a dumb move. But it felt like it's gonna hurt. I mean, I'm not the biggest like keep the tribe strong guy. Like I think it could be a little overrated at times, but this is a tribe that needs to stay strong. Like they are pretty pathetic. Kevin is at least athletic looking. I mean, I know like I don't know if it was more him. It felt like it was more Cedric's fault than his in that, but I don't know. It felt like if you were so worried about Say's idol and you thought she was a threat, why didn't you just vote her out last week? And then, but if you do want to work with her, then why did you make her play her idol? That's what I don't get. Like, if Cedric is like, yo, Say reminds me of my daughter, I want to go far with her, then it's a good thing that your ally has an idol. Like, you shouldn't want to flush that out.
She maybe Say's just successfully intimidated and bullied all of them.
That is also possible.
I mean, it's working to an extent.
I think there was a lot of fear of her because she had the idol. I think now that the idol is gone, I think you'll see a different attitude towards Say. I think moving forward, but we'll see. I could be wrong.
It was crazy that Kevin didn't see that coming. Like when Say was talking like she was.
I just think he had it locked in that it was going to be Say or Mary.
She was just so confident, like, and I don't know. I felt like he should have known something was up, and especially knowing he knows she has an idol.
He had a bizarre.
It's just so easy. Like if she plays her idol, like it takes like basically 1 or 2 votes. Like he was just weirdly confident there that wasn't going to happen.
Potentially 1 vote, really.
Yeah, right. Like it could just be 1 vote.
I don't know what that tribe does now.
Don't they have to add a player almost?
No, they'll get it. No. I think they'll let them get down to 3, and
they'll let them get down to 2.
2? Oh Jesus, you're right. Unless they re-scrambled. Unless they get down to 3 and
they haven't really.
So 2 people are sitting out the next challenges for the other 2 teams.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this gives Mary life. Like I think Mary could be a good player. I think she has potential. I like how she kind of went back at Say at Tribal today as well. So I think she could be a good player. I don't know. This tribe, I don't want this tribe to lose again just because I don't want to see them go to Tribal again.
Yeah. I kind of do, just because we can get rid of more of them.
Say does have to go. I mean, she cracks me up to a degree, but it would be insane if she survived another vote.
Like I'd rather a lot of these people go than almost anybody else in the other 2 tribes. So I'm fine with them just keep running it back and just get rid of him now.
Yeah, that's fair.
I know I keep shoehorning this in, but Kevin, his confessional at the end after he was eliminated was bizarre. He said, I don't know if you guys watched this after the attractions, but he's like, I just want to get some peace and quiet. Bro, you were on the island for 5-6 days. Like
it was strange.
He had a rough tribe. That tribe.
What the fuck?
That tribe also talk about bad break. That tribe just has like a fly infestation. It seems like.
Crazy to flies.
Was that only them?
I guess.
The ones without any food or supplies.
I'd have to imagine there's flies all over, but for whatever reason, it seems like they're getting it the worst.
One fly ran right into somebody's eye. It was crazy. They showed it. I was like, oh my God. Fly.
So actually, before we do jib cuts early, well, we'll just redo them because you weren't here last week. But do you have any early winner picks, Clemmer?
I have a couple, I guess. I have my eye on Bianca a little bit. Maybe just because we haven't seen her a lot, but she seems to be someone that is just kind of flying.
I like that.
Under the radar. I know we're not pronouncing his name right, I'm sure, but Shaheen is interesting. I could see him becoming too aggressive, too fast, but if he seems like a very smart guy, I guess he's a debate professor, and he just seems to have, I don't know, a good read on people early on. And then I'm pulling for my guy, Mitch. I don't know how long it can last, but he seems to be pretty athletic. He seems to be pretty well liked. I don't know. I like him a lot.
Have you noticed that they seem to make Mitch speak for his tribe every time?
Yeah.
Thought that was interesting.
I wonder if
I feel like they're kind of doing that.
That was a nice moment where Jeff was like,
yeah, that was a good moment.
Jeff was like, look, what do you want me to do here, man? She's like, you want me to help you along or not? He had a funny when they were talking about the, what is it called? The habit,
the humble trait.
humble traits. And Mitch was like, I got this slight speech impediment. But I thought that was a nice one. But yeah, it was funny. I've honestly always had an idea for like a sketch in my head, or not even a sketch, but it'd be more of like a Curb storyline where it's like, one guy who has like a stuttering problem, and one guy who like always interrupts and finishes other people's sentences, and so you bring them together to try to you could have the sentence finisher or like translate for the stutterer guy. That's off topic, but
I'll go more off topic. I was actually thinking about when Jeff asked that question because I found this interesting. I know a guy who stutters a little bit similar to Mitch does. He's not as bad. And it's so interesting because he'll get caught in like a real deep stutter and he wants people to help him out. And like the second a person helps him out, he gets the word out. So there's like the psychology of that is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how that happens, but yeah, like the minute somebody helps him, stutter's gone. It's interesting.
Yeah. I think it's almost like, Joey Langone famously,
we
had the Yankee stream. Joey Langone works for a social guy, great guy. He has a stutter. And so they thought as a punishment for a Yankee playoff stream when we didn't clean up our Chinese food, it was like, he had to call the game with someone else. And then Joey just had a couple high noons and he was like speaking perfectly. But yeah, I like Mitch a lot overall. Yeah. We'll see how he does. But he is, and we almost said it, where it's like, he's such a good, everyone knows that's a guy. You don't know if you want to let him get to the end already. You're like, oh, this guy's a bundle of joy. He's got a good story. Like he's a guy that he has to work hard to get to the end, but he's definitely going to be a fan favorite. I like him.
He's already a bit of a target on that tribe too.
Well, he's talking to the temptress known as Charity, the Black Widow.
He's got to ditch Charity.
So, let's do one winner pick, 1-0-0, and a jip cut each.
All right. My winner pick will be Shaheen then.
Okay, I'll go. One of us has to pick her. I feel like you might too. Camilla is just clearly the best player to me. I almost think she's
good.
She's maybe at the point where it's going to become too obvious, but as of now, I love Camilla. Like with the puzzle, she's just like the go-to person. The first week, how she had everybody turned on Charity, it seems effortless. She seems cool and like very easy to talk to and be around. She's the one who's impressed me most by far.
I could see her overplaying though at some point. I wouldn't be surprised if she like overplays. I'm gonna take Bianca. I kind of like Bianca too, and we've probably seen less of her than almost anybody.
Yeah,
but she seems smart. She seems like a decent like alliance on that tribe, under the radar. It seems like a lot of those people win nowadays do just kind of fly under the radar a little bit.
I think those are 3 solid picks, honestly, early on.
Yeah. Last week I think I had Thomas, but he's too devilish. 0.0. I'll take Say. She has no chance of winning.
I just want to see how far she can get now. I don't know how she's still in. I clearly find more amusement out of her than you guys do, but I just kind of want to see her keep going.
She could be amusing.
She's not going to win. You're right.
She's not going to win.
No, my pick also is Say 0.0. If I had to pick one person, just her.
If I was going to mix it up, I think I had her last week. Charity also, like from what you were saying earlier, she's just not going to win. She's got a target on her back. She's not going to win. I was close to other ones I was maybe going to throw out. It's kind of as long shot 0-0s are Joe and Cedric. Joe for the reason that I think he can't lie to anybody. That's going to fuck him. And Cedric, that was a rough showing. I think he's a really smart guy, but
I think Cedric has a shot. I agree with Joe though. I think Joe is just too nice. Like Joe's not going to be able to cut a throat at any point.
I think Charity would have to go a long way. Potentially.
Obvious a physical threat.
Charity, who knows?
She has to escape this kind of heat on her right now, but if she can do that, she can go a while.
I guess I don't know. The way the way she was crying at Mitch, I think she might have.
Mm.
I don't know. I think there might be more to her that. I don't know. I don't want to say like, can't pick the right word, like unstable or just, or I don't know. I think she might have a little bit more
Like
underneath.
maybe there's a reason she's isolated already.
Yeah, that too.
And then Jip cut, I'm gonna give it to Mitch. I liked Mitch. 2 good challenge moments. I mean, you go 5 for 5 like Steph with those balls just underhand like that. I'll go with that.
I'm gonna give it to Thomas for wanting to rip up the Stars thing. I think that's it. The idea that that's your go-to is so evil and so wonderful in this game. So Thomas is getting my Jib cut.
He didn't even think about it. Like that wasn't even. He didn't even question it. He's like, well, we're obviously fucking Star over for no reason at all. I've been saying all day. I'm gonna go with Say because she's not gonna be around much longer. But she made me laugh the most this episode. I'm kind of fascinated by her and everything she does. She's a ridiculous person. So good job, Say. You entertained me for an episode.
All right, I think that's just about it. You guys got anything else?
Think I'm good. I'm looking at my notes.
Yeah, I'm looking through here. I don't really see much.
I'm good. I'm excited for this season. I said this episode that was a drop off from one, but I still think we're in really good shape with a really likable cast for the rest of the season.
Agreed. Yeah, nothing crazy so far. We're kind of stuck with the tribe like that's been losing, but some promising players. It's always too early to tell too. Like it pre-merge is you just like what was it? It was 46, right? Where Banu was pre-merge and he was the worst ever. And it's like this season sucks. And then as it went on, became a great season with you and everyone else. So it's almost like they say in like fantasy football, like you can't win a draft like in the first round, but you can lose it. Like just don't give us anything terrible pre-merge and we'll be all right. And even if you do give us terrible, like it could still redeem itself.
Yeah.
No, and I got to say, like these first 2 episodes are way better than the Banu episodes. So like if that's the elevation we're gonna go, then let's go. No, I'm amped up for this season. It's been awesome. So it's been enjoyable so far, and I think it's gonna be awesome down the road.
Yep. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you're liking this on YouTube. If you're watching right now, like it, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment on I don't know what should people comment. Your Jib cut of the week. Well, just say give us your Jib cut of the week. Subscribe. Podcast will be out in a little bit. So well, I guess that doesn't matter if you're listening. It's the end of the episode. All right, that's it. See you guys next week.
All right.